What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Listener question today. Now, I don't have the permission to share this person's name, but they sent me a question asking about help getting into the theme business. Should I get into the theme business, be it the almost end of 2018 Gutenberg apocalypse? Gutenpocalypse is upon us. People don't know which way to go. And of course, the theme market has always been questionable the last couple of years. Things, of course, harder to break into that market, harder to find your niche, your audience, and to really win in that space, unless you have buco bucks for advertising, or you can latch on to maybe a premium plugin that will help resell your theme. Now, here's the thing. I think that's something that's been missing for quite some time, and dare I even bring it up, but DIY themes, they had a great foothold in the premier marketing theme. Like if you were somebody who was going to become a blogger, the thesis theme was the theme you went with. Of course, this goes back, gosh, nearly 10 years now. At this point, I don't really have the time frame in front of me, but I remember starting out in the blogging space, just doing all this research about, great SEO and page load and what's going to work really well with the WordPress, WordPress theme in particular. And thesis was the one. Of course, great marketing, very early on those days, but there really hasn't been that premier, hyper-focused marketing theme. Short of maybe StudioPress and what StudioPress was doing, and that was early on with what they were doing with Copyblogger when that partnership had happened. But since then, there hasn't been the premier fill in the blank. Now, it's getting pretty close with page builders and coupling page builders with some of the best premier themes that are out there. Astra theme comes to mind. Ocean WP, I believe, is the other one that comes to mind. There are some great starter themes, but these are like, the we can do everything theme. These are themes that are marketed towards agencies to, give you this blank canvas and a ton of bells and whistles to build nearly any kind of theme. So a marketing theme or an e-commerce theme or what have you. But I think if somebody's going to launch into this market today, if I were to drop everything and redo it, I would start with finding a niche, primarily in the marketing side, or definitely the long form content side. Now, a lot of this has been done in the past. We've seen this with other page building tools. We've seen this with other plugins that are trying to be the premier long form content creation engine, that kind of thing. The idea is it has to be done right. And that is, of course, the hardest part if you're getting into this, is really finding that niche and really finding that brand where people turn to and say, you know what, these folks over there, they do it best. And specifically in the marketing space, it's going to be very difficult because it's super crowded. There are a ton of not just, themes and plugins that are out there for marketers, but there are platforms that are out there for content marketing, for the marketing expert. But I think that anybody who's getting into audience building, storytelling, brand building, they're all going to have some of the same things that we all need: a great about page or a speaker's page. There's e-commerce, there's plugins like EDD and digital downloads that you could be selling, other merch and e-commerce stuff. Then there's a contact form, there's memberships, there's e-learning. There are all of these components that go together with a marketing platform that if you built something specific to that would probably be a great win. You could even dissect that further and focus on just Lifter LMS, for example. Great e-learning plugin. The themes that are out there, I haven't seen any short of, maybe half a dozen. If there were a premier theme for that would be amazing. And finding that niche is going to be the hardest thing for you to do and really focus on. Might seem scary at first, but I think if you are able to work with other plugin vendors and folks who are building these pieces of software, they're looking for people that build great themes. The idea is find a new niche to pursue, go after that, and really focus in on it. Don't try to do the whole multi-purpose theme. I think we're all sort of sick of that, and something that is being served quite well, to be honest with you, from page builders. I think they're a great starting point for multi-purpose, and then it's up to the agency or the freelancer or the power user using it to drill down into their specific category. Which brings me to page builders. If you wanted to pursue another niche, another thing I don't see quite a lot of, and maybe there's not a market for it, but this is something interesting for folks to explore. creating starter themes for these page builders. So let's use Beaver Builder, for example. They have the Beaver theme. It comes with it depending on which bundle that you buy from the Beaver Builder folks. And it's just a blank canvas, just a starting point. Yeah, they have templates and themes in there, but you could skip all of the structure of supporting a page builder within your own code and sort of all of the the higher end development stuff you might have to do as a WordPress themer, and just latch on to a great platform like Beaver Themer and provide themes just for that ecosystem. Heck of an ecosystem, very passionate community there. And again, if you can drill down on the Premier Marketing Conversion type of theme, that's a win. Premier LMS or e-commerce, that's a win. But I think the idea is you can leverage these other platforms without having to think about, my God, what is the core theme that I have to support? What are all the customizer options I have to support? What are these questions that my users are eventually going to ask me how to customize a homepage that I could just leverage that's already existing in another system? And oh, by the way, we have Gutenberg coming, so maybe those types of nuances will be not as apparent or not as abundant as it might seem in the future. But the idea is you can latch onto these other technologies, exploit that or use it to your advantage, and build upon those and use that as your springboard to finding new customers out of the gate. I also think it's important that support and premium services are something that a theme shop, especially a new theme shop, should look into. I know it's tough, I know it's difficult, if depending on what your methodology is for delivering your theme. So if you're doing the freemium model or the premium model, these are both going to come with its pros and cons. If you're doing freemium, yes, you can probably find a greater audience faster by giving away the free portions of the theme, but then there's always that free support thing, and then of course there's the upsell. Will those free users ever buy? And then what happens to both iterations or both versions of these pieces of software? And then there's the paid only model, which I'm more of a fan of. It's more organic growth. It's harder to get a larger audience right out of the gate unless you're doing paid advertising or you're an amazing marketer or SEO type of person. But I think that you can supplement the services that you're already doing, like a freelancer, like a consultant, and rolling that into your theme. This is something that I don't see quite often. Maybe it's just there's not a success factor to this, or the audience isn't large enough and there's not enough of purchasing customers out there for this type of thing. But if you had a premium theme at $129 and then you sold a implementation package or an onboarding package or something like that, or a training and education package around these things, just other options, other accessories that can go along with this that will help move the needle than just selling the individual theme. Customization, this comes up a ton when you're a theme shop owner. People always go outside of the scope of support. They're always asking, like, how do I customize this? How do I do that? Again, you can leverage a page builder like we talked about. You'll have Gutenberg. Maybe you have some options in there to change some colors and some text formatting. But inevitably, a customer is going to ask, yeah, but what about this? How do I do this? And having a customization package is a great way to bridge that gap. Make it high end, right? Make it something that might be out of reach for most people, so you're not just inundated with that kind of thing. A lot of the folks, especially the user or the listener who asked this question, are coming from the client services space, and they're sort of just, they've had it with client services, they want to just have this product that they sell. I think that's a great idea. I would be of the mind of doing both at the same time if you can manage it both mentally and time-wise. But you can leverage the idea that, look, I'll customize this for $1,000. So you can buy the theme for $129 and roughly 10 times more that cost if you want me to customize it for you. And even that might have its boundaries, right? So you might have this install package, this setup package, half a dozen of your favorite plugins that you'll set up for the customer, and then you'll change the homepage around $1,000. I think that most business owners will fly with that kind of price point. You might have some satisfied customers that way. You might even have some agencies that you partner with that are like, you know what, for $1,000, that's great. We're going to resell this solution to our client for $3,000. If you just come in, give them a license, set it up on our servers, and we'll take it from here for $1,000, it might be worth it. So the idea is explore some things. Don't just think that, I'll have a couple price points and, revenue will be golden. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it's a great success for you. But in the meantime, in the early days, I think you can leverage some out-of-the-box thinking for selling your product and service. Things that I don't see a lot of theme shops doing is, telling their story. Who are they? What are they doing? what is the lifespan of this theme, right? What is the critical thinking that goes into this theme? What is the overall roadmap for this type of product? Because themes and designs, they can change quite often, right? I mean, as years go on, design styles and what people are attracted to, it's a sort of roller coaster ride, as things are changing, technology, viewports like mobile and large screens, and now our televisions and our cars are going to have mobile web accessibility in them. These things are always going to change. They're always going to be in flux. I think one thing I don't really see a lot of theme shop owners doing is telling that story. Here's the design ideas behind this theme. Here's where I think it's going to go. Really treating it like a piece of software on its own, like it is a platform to its own, and we are going to talk about the design styles that we've chosen. How do we see this progressing in the future? And some great user cases, some cases of some success that they've had with the theme. So if it's a marketing theme, it's easy to show that readability is up. Conversions are up. People are signing up to the newsletter, no problem. Heat map examples of here's where people are clicking on for social icons, subscribing to a podcast or finding the right buy now buttons, all that kind of fun stuff. I think there's a lot of money being left on the table at the premium level, where if theme shops and designers and developers told a better story and connected with their customers a lot more, I think you can charge a little bit more money. It is a race to the bottom to some degree. I mean, some of these themes are selling for $49 lifetime. Very difficult to compete at that level. Again, I've been talking about this a lot in the past. There's that headphone company called Grado Labs. Like they aren't folks that they are just coming out with a wireless headphone set. I mean, they haven't been pursuing the Beats, and maybe they are now. Maybe they're looking at it like, look, in order to find a new revenue stream, we have to go that route. But they're not signing big names. They're not doing all this fancy technology stuff. They've been in business for 100 years, or not really 100 years, but quite some time, maybe back to the 70s, I think, maybe even earlier. The idea is you can really carve out your niche. You can do things in interesting ways. Do I still think that there can be success in the theme space? Absolutely. Right now is actually the most critical point. Right? I would say that this is the most critical point for when a lot of us out there started our WordPress agencies and product businesses back at the financial crisis in 2008. People were saying it's a crazy time to start a business. Why would you start a business now? Where's this all really going to go? I think now with all of this stuff with Gutenberg and the way that the software is changing itself in terms of JavaScript and the technology, you have an in. I don't know what that in is. I'd be rich myself if that were the case. I don't know what that win is specifically, but I know that within all of this chaos will come a change for the better. And those who are against it are going to have a harder time against the change. That is, not against the core critical stuff of WordPress and the decisions that are being made. But if you're just going to sit back and say this is nuts and you give up, then you give up and you're not going to win that race. If you're more apt to adopt the change and find the gaps that you can fill, I think that's going to be a better place. Is it going to be a little bit turbulent in the coming months? Yeah, absolutely. With 5.0 coming out, yeah. Is there going to be a lot of upset customers or users that might look at WordPress now and say, I'm never touching WordPress again because of all of this? Potentially, yes. But if you're looking 6 months to a year from now, what does that all look like? I don't know. I think it's actually going to be for the better in the long run. I think once this stuff does get ironed out, we're going to see greater adoption of the software for better or worse. I know that there'll probably be more eyeballs on it, which again will help you uncover some opportunity there. So that's what I have. I think that you can still pursue themes in 2018, going into 2019 quite soon with 5.0 on the horizon. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that most folks just have to find their particular niche, spend a lot more time marketing and finding the right technology that they can broadcast, or not technology, the right theme of the theme. What is the theme of your theme? Really drill down on that and become just so adamant that this is the solution for this type of customer. Really find that customer that you enjoy serving and put it all into the design aesthetics of your theme. I think you can still win. Right? I think you can still win in this space. It's mattreport.com, mattreport.com/subscribe to join the newsletter where I never send an email. So look, even if you sign up, you're going to get something maybe eventually, but you're not going to get hit with a lot of spam. I can definitely assure you that you will get an email for season 8, which is coming out within a couple days, right? I think episode 0 or episode 1 is coming out quite soon, and then we'll have the rest of the shows coming out. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and thumbs up. We'll see you in the next video.